This segment is sponsored by the West Michigan Home and Garden Show, which is running through this weekend at DeVos Place in Grand Rapids. Kate Wert is co-owner of Moxie Life Organizing, a full-service organizing and coaching company. She helps people with everything from household decluttering and organizing to downsizing, spatial planning, closet design, pretty much anywhere we might spin out of control. And Kate is headlining the home stage this weekend. She joins us now to talk about organizing outside the box. Hi, Kate.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
I'm glad to. I know that you say the toughest part of organizing is actually getting started. Where do we start? Find that motivation to get a move on?
Well, one thing is that we often go into the projects with the thought of decluttering, which brings on that dread and that anxiety. I've got to make decisions on items. I've got to get rid of stuff. So try reframing your thinking on that. And what I tell clients is really sit down and take inventory of what's most valuable to you. And that may be your items, but also how do you want to spend your time? Do you want to spend more time with family or participating in hobbies or going to yoga? Because of ultimately our stuff does tend to take up our time and our energy and even produce anxiety because it's constant to-do list.
And yet our stuff says something about us. We are attached to the craziest things, right? So how do you make the choices that are required uh, to pare down?
Well, and one thing is that when I work with clients, that we have to figure out a similar language. But there's different lines of questioning you can ask yourself. One of the top questions I ask is, "Do you love it?"
Mm.
And people will spark a response like, "Yes, I do." And then they'll say, or they'll say, "No, I don't really love it." And then we look at what are those reasons for holding on to it. Is it because you're feared for the future? You might need it. Is it because it's something from the past that you think by throwing it away, you're losing the memory? Or is there a guilt factor? That's a big one. I feel guilty. Someone bought it for me, or I never used it. It's a waste of money. It's been a waste of money. So we have to talk through some of that thought process.
And then I know you encourage people to sort of separate things out and do different things with the items that they're deciding to get rid of, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've really adjusted my approach a lot because people lose inventory of what they have. So sometimes when I'm working with clients, I'll go in and I'll do what I call rough sort or zoning out like items. So going into the space and actually grouping like items together so they have a better inventory. And then likely asking them, are there other places that you have kitchen items or where else are we storing children's toys? So once they see everything laid out in front of them, they can better make sound decisions.
Mm. I want to show a couple of photographs because we all have these things in our homes. First is the drawer where, pretty soon you're just shoving stuff in and just praying that that drawer is going to close. You've whipped it into shape. Tell me about how you get control of a space like that.
Well, and that's another thing I encourage is starting with something small, like a drawer, a shelf, maybe a small closet, or the top of your desk. Pull everything out and maybe even start by going on what I call a donate discard hunt. So items that you know are trash, just get hyper focused, not on making decisions on anything else, but pulling out trash and the things that you know you don't need.
Mm.
Then put them in like categories, start to group them together, and you'll see that the pieces of the puzzle start to fall into place.
I feel so much power in an organized space. Like if I get a drawer done, I show my neighbors. It's a game changer for me. Okay, let's look at the toy closet because oh my gosh, that's right there. I recall the toy closet looking like that.
Yeah, so that we see this quite a bit, and I think that parents do become busier and busier. A lot of people have two-parent homes; they're both working full time, and we have this tendency to buy. And a lot of times that's out of guilt. Most of us are guilty of that, myself included. But this is something too where we had to pull out and zone out the items and take a look. Also, I do encourage children to get involved in that process because, as they get older and we work with these clients now that they were never taught how to evaluate items, how do I make decisions? What do I keep? How long do I keep it? And also, give them permission as well to keep some of those personal sentimental items.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, folks, you can see Kate on the home stage today at 2 and 7 p.m. Then again on Sunday at 1 and 3 p.m. The Home and Garden Show runs through the weekend. Show times and ticket prices are available at showspan.com. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you so much for having me.